So,
Suffering.
yeah.
What do we do?
Well, what you do, and I'm going to talk about this on the next episode, so I don't want to get too far into that. But it starts with finding it's critical. It bears repeating over and over again until it's ingrained, until it becomes self-engendering, which is, as Jordan Peterson said, find the mode of being that is so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. And that's whatever it is that you need to be. And what we call it in the military, there's a syndrome with when guys and girls, when soldiers and Marines and airmen and whoever, when people, EAS, when they get out, many times they're lost because, especially infantry, if you were a mechanic or it's something else that was not infantry based, then you've got a skill that's doing something besides hunting and killing people. And you think about, well, you've always got those law enforcement jobs. Well, that's not for everybody. And military infantry, the last thing, you're not a trained law enforcement officer. Just because you carried a weapon does not make you a trained law enforcement officer. Those two things are wildly exclusive of one another. But anyway, a lot of military personnel have issues when they get out because they don't have a purpose anymore, or they think they perceive themselves as not having a purpose anymore. And so the thing that you have to do, all the counselors, all the post-service counselors, everybody, the nonprofit groups that specialize in helping veterans, helping former military members transition into the civilian world, which makes no goddamn sense. Once you've served, 10 minutes in the military, the civilian world makes no sense. And to transition, you need a mission. You have to have the next mission. In the military, especially in the infantry, you're go, 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 go. And if you're not, when you're deployed, if you're not patrolling, if you're not on a mission, if you're not pulling security, if you're not doing something, you're taking care of your gear, you're cleaning, you're filling sandbags, or you're doing whatever. But you have a mission, you have a purpose. And so if you can adopt that philosophy to tie it into the SEMPER principle and the effectiveness triangle, how do you do this? How do you find a mode of being that is so meaningful? You give yourself the next mission. You give yourself a mission and you follow through with it no matter what, to the point that it becomes self-engendering. You do it until it becomes Pat Mac, make it habitual, rock and roll. So I hope he doesn't admonish me for this. But anyway, I'm spreading the love, Pat Mac. But give yourself the mission. Do it. And I don't give a damn what it is. Maybe it's walking around your neighborhood with a little stabby stick and a bag and picking up trash in your neighborhood, and you do it. And I don't care if you're tired or if your knees hurt or whatever, you do it without fail, because what that requires is discipline. And if you have discipline, you can have anything. Discipline equals freedom, and freedom is found in responsibility. And those aren't my words. That's Jocko and Jordan Peterson. But to share that message and to fold that message into this, how do you find that mode of being? How do you help yourself through the suffering? It's as simple as this. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. You can sit around if you don't have anything to do. You're going to sit around with the television on and wallow, and it's going to get worse. And the people around you are going to suffer. Do you want that? No. Give yourself the next mission. And that's how you're going to do it. That's how you're going to start. But you have to have discipline. If you cannot discipline yourself to stay on that mission, I can't help you from there. I mean, I can barely help myself. I can't help you if you're not willing to have that discipline.
I think what I've learned, because I do not feel up until this year that I had an ounce of discipline. And to me, that's selfishness as well. But Lord, I prayed for discipline. And it actually came.
I think you're right. I think you're right about the selfishness and the aspect of discipline, because we spoke about this in our big long conversation last week, that you have to recognize your value to the people around you. And if you don't, that's selfish. And if you're selfish, then you're not going to be disciplined, because why in the hell would you bother to stay physically fit or to feed your mind by reading and reading and writing? Why would you feed your spirit? Why would you do any of those things if you weren't disciplined? If you're not disciplined, you're not going to care about anybody else. So there you go. You're right.
And that's what it was. But I mean, I was trying to see you use your family as your motivator. And
not always. You're right, but not always.
And I thought, that should be my motivator as well, especially when they were asking me to, take better care of myself. And, Mom, we want you around. You would think that would be, and I certainly don't want to let them down, as you had said. But it because I recognize people, especially me, are selfish in nature. And I don't mean I'm selfish as in I will withhold something from you specifically. I just like to do what I want to do. So I'm an only child. That's probably where that came from. But I had to find something.
And you're a Gen Xer and we are loners.
Yes, very much. So I had to find motivation that brought me joy. And when I found that, then it just fell into place. Each thing that I wanted to do, the workout. I mean, it was that was such an incredible story, how that just fell in my lap. I could not make myself work out 5 days a week. I couldn't do it. But there is a
yes, you could. You just didn't want to.
That I would rather sit on the porch and have
accountability.
Right. But there's a famous person that I look up to. There you go. There's the bell.
How about that shit?
I didn't bring mine tonight.
I told you I had one.
Oh man, I need to get a new one. Mine's starting to get rusty because I have it out on the porch when I'm chatting up. That one.
This is Catherine.
Nice to meet you, Catherine.
Catherine Bell. For any of you who don't get that, Catherine Bell is a gorgeous actress who has played on lots and lots of stuff. But I think the thing she might be most known for was, what was that military show where she was JAG? Anyway, you were saying.
So as I was saying, so with each step, I found more joy. And so it's like if you just make that one step and you start going, it does start to, the speed picks up. It's like those cheese wheel races without breaking a leg.
So this journey you're on, where does it end?
It's going to grow.
The journey never ends.
That's right.
The path
gets better and bigger.
There, I'm going to go borrow from Jocko Willink again, but the path is, it does not end. And you have to recognize that. Now, my question, I'm glad that you said that. I'm so proud of you. Now, my next question is, you found the motivation through someone to have the discipline to be able to complete your workouts, yes?
That is correct, sir.
What's your ultimate goal with that? Let's just stick with the fitness thing. So what's your ultimate goal?
To motivate others.
Before that, you can't motivate others if you don't have the discipline to. You have to get to the point of where you're not relying on somebody else to motivate you.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. because now it isn't. It's because of the sheer joy that I
Okay.
get out of it now.
There you go.
And so it
What
is now
happens if
within
you're
me.
tired one day and it doesn't seem so joyful?
Most of the time I'll push through and just, or maybe I'll change it up and do an exercise that is more compatible to how I feel that day, but I'll make myself do it.
Good, good. And the thing about weakness and loss of discipline is if you fall off, if you divert, not divulge, if you divert, you're on the path in the woods and you divert, you go down there, which there's wine and cheesecake down there. Well,
it's my favorite path.
If you feel, too many people feel once they fall off, once they diverge, that screw it, they might as well not even bother going back because they have irreconcilably damaged themselves. And it's important to know that that is not true. You can always get back. You can always get back. You can always get back. There are breadcrumbs, whether you left them or not, there are breadcrumbs. And once you get back on that path, then the good people that are there, if you have surrounded yourself with people who elevate you, they're going to welcome, they're going to help you, they're going to grab you and bring you back. They're not going to beat you down. So it's important to know that you have to ultimately, you have to engender your own motivation, your own discipline, I should say, your own discipline to complete the task, the mission, whatever it is, if it's a workout or if it's going to church or if it's singing in the choir or whatever it is, you have to get yourself to the point of where you have enough self-discipline to be able to get there without external force. And if you fail, have the knowledge and the courage to get the hell back on the right path and not just say, screw it. I screwed up. I can't get back there. So I might as well just wallow around out here because there's plenty of distraction and there's plenty of stuff and there's plenty of people who want to drag me down with them. So I won't be alone.
You know, what's really cool about it is for the first time in my life, Scott, I can look you in the eye right here and say, I am now disciplined.
Yeah. Don't get cocky though.
I will if I want to.
Nope. Hubris. Hubris is destructive. All right. On that note, I think that's a good place to put a period on the episode. What I want to make sure that we get to some bookkeeping, housekeeping stuff is to make sure that people know how to find us and how to do all the things that you should do as a consumer of media. How about that? So to talk about from the audio side, from the podcast side, here's the thing. Make sure you search here's a thing, not here's the thing. If you search here's the thing, if you like us, you are not going to like what you find there. And I'm not going to say what it is. But if you've ever done that, you'll know who it is and whatever. So search here's a thing, which is headquartered at Podbean. So that's here's the thing.podbean.com. And I recommend downloading the app, the free app. And I don't know that there are any podcasts in the universe that aren't on the Podbean app. So you can use that as your central place to collect all of your listening enjoyment. You can also find Here's the Thing, well, pretty much everywhere. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, all of those things. As I always remind you, just search Here's a Thing everywhere in the podcast universe. You can also, your little robot, your little AI servant that's over in the corner, whether her name starts with an A or whether her name starts with a G, you can ask them to play Here's a Thing. So do that. And please, whether you're on Apple Podcasts or TuneIn or iHeart or Podbean, it is important, as everybody knows now, the what was the word that Nick used earlier about the not the metrics, but I don't know. I don't care.
The likes. Yeah.
The metrics, the algorithm, everything
the algorithm.
is unfortunate. Yeah. Unfortunately, we live in a world. There was a great episode. If you've ever watched the show Community, it's one of the best television shows ever made. Go back and watch it, and watch the episode. I forget the title of the episode, but it's around season 3-ish. And this was probably 10 years ago, and it was so far ahead of its time. They had Meow Meow Beans. And what it was is some software developer came through, and they had developed an app that they didn't call it all this at this time, but it was a social media app. And what it did, and they're actually doing this in China now, and we're starting to do it too, which is you could rate your interaction with people. So if they had the app, you can say, that person, they were so nice to me. They said hello when they passed me in the hall. They get 5 stars. Bing. And they called them Meow Meow Beans. And the more Meow Meow Beans you collected, the higher you elevated. And this is all a very good lesson in artificial hierarchy and how we will willingly torture and destroy one another if given the tools to do so. But anyway, I diverge. So unfortunately, everything is based on freaking likes and all of that crap. So, but it does help. So if you like the message, if you enjoy the message, we need you to subscribe first and do a rating. Give us a 5-star rating. If you do any, if it's not a 5-star rating, then screw you. I don't care. Go away.
Find us on YouTube also.
Yeah. And write a review. I'm getting there.
Oh.
And write a little review. Hey, awesome podcast, or super dope, bro, or whatever. It doesn't have to be a novel. So subscribe, rate, and review to help forward the message. And then on YouTube, talk about the YouTube channel, which if you search, Here's the Thing, you should probably search Here's the Thing podcast, or search H.A.T, HAT, which stands for Here's the Thing for those of you who went to public school. Search the YouTube channel, where you're going to find all of this video here in digestible clip form, pertinent stuff there. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's one thing about YouTube, is that there's a lot of consumers, and I do this too, because I don't necessarily want to be algorithmed to death. I don't, this whole privacy thing, it's like I don't want to be sold all this stuff. So I'm reticent to subscribe to anything that I don't wholeheartedly believe in. So if you wholeheartedly believe, then go ahead and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also the patron program for Here's the Thing. There's a lot of time and effort and love and devotion that goes into putting this together. And we're not making any money out of it, and we're not looking to make money out of it, but there's a cost to it. So if you would like to support Here's the Thing and the message, and enable us to get this out to help keep doing this, then we have a patron program available, which we are working on doing some special patron stuff, whether that's going to be patron only live shows or whatever that might be. Maybe we'll even have some gear. Everybody loves gear. But that's patron.podbean.com, or if you're on the Podbean app, there's a little $sign there, and you can pledge $1 or everything that you have, your children's college fund, and all of that. I don't recommend that, but anyway, so that's the housekeeping. And I want to say thank you to my, what did I call you earlier? My compadre, my associate, Mel Z.
Thank you for having me.
How do you want me to call? What do you want me to? Hey, Mel. By the way, my sister-in-law's name is Melody, so I call her Mel. Was sort of, I don't know. So
I've been called many things, so I answer to just about anything. I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, whatever suits you. I mean, like I said, most people do call me Mel, but if that belongs to a sister-in-law, then
Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for
late
dinner.
for dinner.
And on that
Ding.
note, we're gonna get out of here. And thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.